Welcome to another MPA Production stream. I am the guild leader from the MPA community. It's a live stream we do Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, where we work on community-related projects. It's a music production arena community. You can find all our channels wherever you're watching this live. We are live streaming on DLive, YouTube, and Twitch. I laughed because I started with DLive today for some reason. DLive, I do like that platform, although a lot of people don't know about it. I don't know. I haven't dug deep enough into it to see like, how is it growing or whatever. I'm not gonna even make claims on it, but we do stream there because we've met people there, and it's we've used it for other purposes too. But anyways, DLive, YouTube, Twitch, and Bandlab. You can find us all four of those platforms. If I could find another, I mean, there's plenty of other platforms you stream to, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to just stream to random ones. I want to find like the best problem. I don't really use Facebook, but there's nothing really else out there. I mean, I know there's a couple of ones coming up, but Bandlab really got my attention because it's a music production niche, and it's pretty good. I find it's pretty good streaming to these four platforms. More about that later. Definitely going to have to consider streaming, multicasting next month to all four platforms at the same time because it costs money to do that, and it's just finances are tight. You know what I mean? But no matter what, we still are going to do streams. I did a stream last night. If you look at this, all you can see is the picture. There's no replays on DLive. Or I said DLive. There's no replays on Bandlab, but it still shows you when live. I've been having fun. In fact, this whole setup right here, I moved the camera around. That's why we're not seeing the camera right now. But I did this live stream. It was actually early this morning. Experimenting with some stuff. I have my microphone set up there, so it's not just a jam. It's actually very much production stream, but with actual gear, using all the gear instead of it's more of it's instead of using just straight DAW. This is actually taking advantage of gear and mainly MIDI controllers and iPad and stuff, but still, it's really fun stream. I'm gonna be doing that quite often because it just feels more natural to me. Not to distract from these streams because it's just something separate, but these it's called Preset Studios. This whole thing here, it's done on Endless FM. Many of you have heard me talk about it, but anyways, it's another collaborative app, and if you catch the overall theme of what I do, I'm very much into just collaborative production. Like, and I'm not talking about, hey, do you want to collab? Let's start a collab. Let's spend forever trying to back and forth one collab. I like I like these apps that just kind of rush you and force you into an active collab. And I've found a couple of them. Bandlab being one, Endless FM being another one. But and there's a bunch of other ones like Voicey or what, I don't know what it's called, but there's like these, and there's Collab. There's an app called Collab. Even TikTok and Instagram have the abilities to you split the screen, whatever it's called. You split the screen and you can add to it. But that's very much in the same vein, except for I like to find the more music production groups and stuff. And you will find apps. I've found them just browsing, like advertised to me. But I've messed around with one called Collab. Another one I believe is called. I'm actually so curious now. I'm gonna look it up on my iPad because it's gonna be in my head until I do. But it's really neat because you can just upload beats to this app, and we'll look it up. I'm all about this stuff, and this is kind of what this stream is all about: community collabs, and it's about growing that community. So I just recently updated my iPad. It's all disorganized. Let me find. I think it's called, it's Voicey, Voisey. You can upload your beat. People start singing to them real time. It's video and stuff, but you'll find collabs left and right. And this is one of the best apps I've found for finding vocalists. Sorry, I don't have it pulled up on the screen. You know what? I've never been sponsored by anyone, but I do promote the apps that I'm into. This one got shared to me, and I'm really excited about it. I like to share cool things here, so just in case someone watching this hears about it and they get excited and they go download it, and then they feel they've gained something from watching the music production arena stream. Voicey, really nice app. Of course, the Endless FM is the app that I use. They're Endless with 3 S's. Bandlab, really great for collabs. B-O-I. Voicey. I made a profile on there. I'm gonna upload some beats. I'm not gonna get too into this app. It's just unless it just seems to be calling to me. But I do check out everything. Why is it so slow? I don't know. Endless FM, another jamming app, Bandlab FM. Anyways, my main point here that I'm trying to make is all the streams that I do here on Music Production Arena channels are going to be community collab related for the most part, and challenges, so challenges too. Anyways, I'm not going to pitch it too much. I just maybe if someone sees this and they're interested, y'all go check it out. I hope it's on Android too, but as you can see here, you can upload your instrumentals and people will just listen to them and sing, and it looks like it's videos, so I guess it's a little more personable, but great for collabs. I don't know why I started talking about that other than it just made me think of it. But I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams with Endless for sure. Endless FM. I'm very involved with that community and I'm a big supporter of theirs. And it's really collaborative app. What I like about it is, like, if I go to Linktree / and everything we do here on the live stream. Hi, Andidi, by the way. Sorry. Just really speaking my mind lately on these last few streams because I want people to know what my thoughts are for the future and for this live stream. So we'll be getting into all the updates again here in a little bit. But I just want to share that main focus of my main passion right now and hobby, what draws me to doing this, not just all the live streaming, just the community collabs and just MPA. I think it's the overall idea of online collaboration. Online collaborations, real time. I'm not going to go as far as say only in the metaverse, but has a lot to do with the metaverse and stuff like that. But just as we already are community, but I like the apps that kind of speak to that. Anyways, I got this thing right here. All these links lead to real-time apps. I actually can't share a lot of stuff that I found out recently. I've always wanted to say that. Now I can finally find it. I just tuned into a meeting, behind the scenes meeting to this app because I'm one of the Kickstarter kind of people and they invited me to a call and they asked us not to share stuff because of course, and that makes sense. But anyways, I'm even more excited about the app now. Let's just say that. And excited for the future. But I can just say it will be easier to access this in the future for sure. I'm excited for the Windows version to finally release. Y'all see me, I can beta test that. I do have that version. But anyways, Endless FM. It's one app, but you have all these links, these jam live, and I'm going to be jamming with these live a lot on just Bandlab live streams over there. Very collaborative apps. But my main point here is everything I come up with here. You can see the color coded here and the BPMs and the keys. You'll see here what I'm talking about in a second. After you jam in these apps, for those that do, or just watch the live stream, and I produce stuff in these rooms, or what they are, jam rooms basically. With a jam history, you can always go back and download everything that's been added to these rooms. Down here at the very bottom, I have a Bandlab link. Click here. And the apps just work so good together because I just take all those stems. You export the stems out of that other app. It gives you a stem pack of 8 loops. I take those 8 loops. I drop them into Bandlab projects. You get a whole little riff here and forkable. And it's just like, it takes a lot of the overthinking out of producing. You're just jamming and then you pump out a bunch of loops and you drop them into a session like this and you share it, and then you just kind of share it to be collab, and you never know where it might go from there. But anyways, I've been coming up with like loops like no ever, like loop packs like crazy, and my goal is to take all these loops that I generate and do a performance with them all, like a loop performance. But anyways, there's a couple apps I've been messing with, and you'll definitely see me using on stream. I actually did, I don't recommend this, but watch this. I did, go back to our Twitch channel. Where is it at? Let's go to our channel. I did a test the other day. It was really interesting. I linked up that Endless app completely to a VR controller. Where is, I always get confused when I come to Twitch. Click on videos. It's it was interesting to say the least. So in this here, there's Endless Studio down there in the left corner, and then I have a virtual reality MIDI controller here, and I linked it all to it. It was really cool, but it's just not practical. Like, I still need to see things on the screen that are very important, and I need my hands for the keyboard, not just the controller. It was interesting. It was really fun though. Anyways, I did that Twitch. My main point is follow the channels if you're interested in music production, technology, and apps. I really want to turn the channel into more than just what we've been doing and grow it into, as I was saying, like testing out different apps of the future. Miro, so good to see you. I've been great. How are you? You know what? This is not even Altspace here. I do some stuff on Altspace here and there, but I actually haven't been involved with Altspace as much as I'm putting more focus on virtual reality music apps themselves than just Altspace is more of a community that you can perform at. Still a great app. But no, I definitely want to keep tweaking with VR stuff. I would like to get a new headset, but again, I don't have the money to buy that right now. So I'm still using the Quest 1 to do stuff. But the thing is, I have a handful of apps. In my opinion, they're all very, very buggy, very startup testing. You know what I mean? Like, and understandably so. His VR has always been in that stage, but I want to see them take it to another level. I want to see. Let me turn this up so maybe y'all can hear it. Doesn't come through, does it? I was just testing stuff. Anyways, I want to see it to another level. Can you imagine being in a virtual reality recording studio with other people and actually laying down high quality music and stuff together in real time? Let me turn that off. Miro says this one. Okay, Miro's asking which music app. This one's called Medulla Studio. It's probably one of my favorites because of how you can link it so easily. It's almost easy to link it to pretty much anything that can be MIDI mapped. So you got a lot of controllers, like that XY controller that I'm messing with there. That's the best part about it. That's probably one of the most practical uses of it is the XYZ VR thing. But to be honest, you don't need VR headset to do that. You could do that with just the controller and in an AR. And that being said, I believe AR is better for this than VR. AR being, augmented reality. VR takes you too far out of your other gear. And I can go down a whole rabbit hole of how the two, when they're mixed together, is going to be amazing. Quickest thing I'll say is that they do have it set up with, if you do it right, you can look down and the camera will show you AR. You'll see your real keyboard and your real gear. But then when you look up, it switches back to VR and you'll see all your VR stuff like that. We're at the brink, like the early stages of all this stuff. It's really exciting. Anyways, this one's Medulla Studio. I have another one that I really like. I'll show off eventually. I know it's late, so I want to see. Miro says it's fine. It's late. School tomorrow, so I may leave soon. Understood. I hope your school's going good. Focused on your studies, which is good. And I'm glad you stopped by. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, it definitely is fun. It's very gimmicky, the VR stuff, but I would almost say it's just not practical right now. The most practical part about it is the online part where you can collaborate with other people. That's where I see the most potential. And they don't really have all that features right now, but it's so easy to code. It's possible because we all know how coding and gaming works. We just got to get the people to do it. And as more people release the SDK API kits for their apps and make them open source, that stuff can be integrated into technology. And like this, I can link this to FL no problem. I linked it to Endless. It has built-in Ableton features for the session view. Hey, Xanda, good to see you. And Daddy says I need a new cord for my Quest 2 because the one I was using broke. I hadn't used it a couple months. You know what? As cool as VR is, I actually don't use it that much other than for music apps. And it makes me motion sickness when I try to play games. I've got a couple games that I really wanted to get into. and they make me sick. I don't know. Maybe I need to play it more to get over it or something. But I definitely don't ever play games. I was using AltSpace VR because it's a great app for just, Second Life style app, VR, metaverse style app. Basically like VR chat, but very professional. And I was doing performances there, which is awesome. And I'll go back and do that. But it doesn't have the music stuff built in. It just has the capability to live stream. Now, apps like this, where it's literally a music app with controllers, faders, knobs, drum pads, and all this stuff like that, it's, potential. The potential's out there. Yeah, but again, it's just I have a foot controller that was helping me too. I have an SP or FCB 1010 on the 4, and that without the foot controller, this would actually be not even at all working. But as you can see, those. Anyways, I have there's potential. I'm excited for the future. I want to see AR, XR, VR, all that stuff come together, and I want to see the combination of music. There is a convention that goes around. It's a music tech convention. I forget the name of it. I'm not up on it, but there's a music tech convention goes around talking about everything music and technology, and their biggest booths and attractions lately, what I've heard, has been the virtual reality and the augmented reality booths and displays or whatever presentations. And Deity Dub says the only games I really play are the ones my friends play, which are a lot of the Oculus on the Oculus Store. So I have to connect to my PC. Yeah, you get better graphics on the PC on the desktop PC, anyways. But I like the wireless feature of just the things. I have a couple games. I want to play the new Resident Evil, but again, I don't know. I've played. I don't own it. I didn't buy it, but I've played the Half-Life, the PC version of Half-Life, and that is the best bar that has been set for VR gaming. I don't know if you've played it or seen it, but the Half-Life VR is just next level to me. We're just blabbing today. I know. Xanet says I play. Yeah. What's that called? Phasmo. I think I've tried it. The demo. I think I've tried the demo at least. I'm really into the room scale, although I don't have the room to scale. I don't have a big enough room, so I always run out of space. But room scale VR is really nice because you don't you actually walk around and there's no moving with the joysticks at all. And when you do that, you don't get actually as motion sickness as much. The Quest 1 is worse than the Quest 2 when it comes to that. All right. Good to see you again, Miro, if you're still here, and everyone else that stopped by. The ones that it's late, past your hours. Appreciate you staying up to watch. I always think about the shows I watch as I'm going to bed at night, and it's kind of cool to know that some people are watching Music Production Arena stream as they go to bed. Yeah, I bought the Rift S for my brother. That's another whole story. I thought he was going to get into it like crazy. He does like it, but he is so distracted by what his work and what he's doing in his other programs, Unreal Engine and his other video game stuff, that he hasn't even touched the VR headset. And you can actually mix the VR headset with the Unreal Engine when making games, and you can actually mix the VR headset with the game, and he actually takes game creation to another whole level. So he'll get into it one day. You know what it is? He's waiting on a new computer. That and some other stuff. All right. So let me tell y'all the biggest updates. Biggest updates of the collabs is it's a huge change, but it's so much for the better. I'm glad some of y'all are here to check this out, or to hear this anyways. I'll let everyone know one-on-one, but I think that we should do the collabs one track at a time. And I've actually done a lot of debating on how many tracks at a time, whether it should be one at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 5 at a time, 4 at a time. And then for whatever reason, every time I think about 1 at a time, it's like pressure's lifted off my shoulder, like all the tracks, thinking about all the tracks at one time. You know what I mean? And this is nothing new. You hear about this stuff all the time. It's very important to not overwhelm yourself with too many tracks at one time. And that happens a lot. People are like, I want to create a whole album. It's actually one of the most common things when you're coming up in your hobby. You're making music, and you're getting as you start making music. And I don't know. In fact, people do it at all different stages. So I'm not going to say it's a beginner thing, but definitely it's this thing of like, oh, I want to do a whole album. problem with that is you try to create it all at one time, and I mean there's different ways to do that. And albums usually don't come together like that. I mean they do, but they don't always come together. An album's usually just a collection of songs that are written over a period of time, and more traditionally written by a band on rehearsal day, every day, practice and writing songs one a day, one song at a time, and practicing these again and again. Those songs come together over a period of time, and then they record them all at one time and track them all at one time. But songs need to be written over a period of time. And really, you should put all your focus on whatever song you're thinking about, and maybe you get it out of the way. So the biggest change here, let me get this VR stuff off the screen because it looks cool, but it's just distracting me now. Let me pull up the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet's going to change. Also, I'm going to be updating everything. You know, it might seem like, and you know what? Honestly, the time that it's been taken to do this is not going to change. Honestly, we were doing about 10 collabs in 10 weeks anyways. We were doing like 8 collabs in 10 weeks. It's actually going to be, I'm going to try to do a new track every week. Because I'm going to try to keep the track simple, fun, challenge, just a challenge. You know, people do 1-day challenges all the time. So no, 1 week is easy. So we're going to do, I think we should do, let me bounce this idea off everyone here. I think we should do one at a time. And honestly, I think we should just pick up where we left off season 1. I'll still name them seasons. Maybe I haven't decided that. Season 1, season 2, season 3, maybe take a break in between. I don't really know. That's not as important. That's just continuing on. We've got a lot of samples. We've got a lot of members. And we have a lot of stuff just waiting there to be turned into tracks. And I think the best way to focus on it is to just do one track at a time and then just dig through the sample packs as we're working on the tracks, trying to finish them each week. And whoever samples we pull into it can join it. And then, as always, in real time, anyone that sends a sample in while they're watching the stream or before or after the stream, we'll throw it in. And I want to make them more interactive, more real time. Because now what we did is we collected a bunch of samples and we got a whole bunch of people just waiting around for me to finish them off, waiting around for me to get back to their track and their samples on the day I'm going to mess with their samples. People message me asking me, when are you going to mess with my samples? All the time. So, which is understandable. I get it. That's why I'm adapting this and evolving into something. Okay, if you want to be involved with the streams and the collabs in real time and daily, all you got to do is show up or get involved with the track I'm working on that week. And I think it's neat because I have a whole stack of samples to draw from when no one is tuned in. You know, so if no one is sending me samples, it's okay because I got lots of samples to pull from that we've already collected. So I think going on, I think if you look at these, I numbered these, just continuing on. So last season we did 8 collabs. So now we're collab 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And so on. In fact, 15 collabs there. You go down here, we got collab 16, collab 17, collab 18. We have these people here waiting on collabs. Jazzerado. Miro, if you're still here, you might have fell asleep. Jazzerado, I still have your samples. I kind of pushed them off because, again, we got overwhelmed with so many projects. But actually, Jazzerado, Techno Dragon, these are some really good samples that came in this season. Fishing Hogue, Maxi Waxy, CJ Kamikaze DJ. CJ Kamikaze, DLC Ninja, and Hydro Boy all have sent me samples that are really great. So if you really look at the potential of this, we have collabs to go on and on and on and on and on. And I think a really fun thing to keep the stream, you know, feeling fresh is just kind of do a new collab each week. And then also keep it loose and try new things each week too. Maybe switch it up, styles, genres, cameras, gear being used, apps being used, style workflows, always switch up the workflows, maybe things like that, but mainly just start building up a collection, building like the best flow, and then building up a collection of tracks. Okay, and that leads me to Bandlab. Again, I have started just one at a time. I could do it all at one time, but I like to do it one at a time. I've started uploading the tracks from season 1 to Bandlab, and these are published now on Bandlab. So as you can see here, Airtime. Boop, 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 boop. These are from season 1. Track 2, collab 2 was Flow State, Guild, Mr. Fox, Haley, and Didey. Later today, I will upload collab 3. I will, by the end of the week or whatever, by the time we get through all 8 collabs, I'll have all 8 collabs loaded here like I've been saying I'm going to do. And if you click on these now, you can see that they have you should be able to open them up in the mix editor. They're forkable now. They should be. I don't know. I thought I made them. We'll double check that. Anyways, so these are published. I'm gonna do all 8, like I've been saying, and the stems are in there now from the actual tracks. Hey, Ira, good to see you. We've been talking all kinds of stuff today, including virtual reality in the future. Okay, I'm gonna get all 8 of these loaded in here. I did switch some things up. I'm always switching things up, but I hope y'all expect that from me at this point. View profile, view bands. We got these studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C. I really want, as we were talking about metaverse and virtual and apps, I want to start presenting this picture of a virtual metaverse recording studio, and that's what Music Production Arena live streams and communities are. So we have using the different apps, combining them all together, and all the different platforms, including social media, using it for good, despite all its negativities. Using it for music production, art, and creativity, and a palette is what I use social media for. Platform. Anyways, that being said, I have adapted this Bandlab studio into studio rooms to feel like more of a studio. We got Studio A, Studio B, Studio C. We got 25 people in Studio A, and that's actually where I started releasing the collab projects. Might do different styles of projects in different studio rooms. Here's the problem. I think the rooms can fill up and they have a cap, and I haven't figured out the best way to manage that. But I just want y'all to feel like y'all can move freely between the studio rooms, and I don't want to feel like there's any restrictions. So we'll just continue to create more rooms if we need to. But this is on Bandlab. We're creating studio rooms. These are in the band sections, and inside the studios, you'll see that you can actually click on the projects. Of course, you can mess with the projects that have been published, but you'll also have access to the private projects if you're a member of that band. You'll find all this stuff by going to the Music Bandlab page. You know what? I feel really bad right now because I haven't been streaming this whole time on Bandlab. I forgot to put the code in. You know what? I'm still doing it right now. Go live on Bandlab. It's because I know that I'm not going to pay for it for next month. I really have a feeling I'm not going to pay for another month of Restream.io and to multicast. So I'm going to have to do a totally separate stream for Bandlab, which I'm fine with that. I think it'd be cool. I've made time for it, honestly. But I do like multicast, and I think it's important that we actually multicast too. Because it catches people, it tunes way more people in when we multicast over here to Bandlab. Community collab. All right, going live. Copy code. Second while I remember how to do this. Paste, save, update. And if I turn this on, it should just go live. Anyways, I like this feature. It's a great feature. I just think they're a little pricey. Bandlab. It's like $20 a month just to multicast to. I can multicast for free. Twitch, DLive, and YouTube, no problem. It's multicast to a custom server, which costs me $20 US, which is a ridiculous amount. I mean, it's not ridiculous. I understand why they're doing it. They've got a lot of professional companies that pay them lots of money to do this streaming service. I get it, but it's ridiculous for me right now because I don't have that extra money. But they do have a switch to annual special offer here. I looked at it. I thought about it. It would save me some money, but again, I gotta be careful these coming up months. Food storage, if you know what I mean. Build as $152 yearly will save me a little bit of money. They had another special that was even cheaper earlier. It was like $10 a month, but that was like a newbie special or something. I don't know. Right after I joined, I'm gonna not think about that right now. What's gonna happen is if I don't pay for next month, I'm going to do a separate stream altogether for Bandlab, and it's gonna be just as fun, if not even greater stream. All the streams will just continue to get better, hopefully. But I really want to start out using more of my gear, controllers, keyboards, and stuff like that on the stream. I'm assuming everyone just saw what I did, and I'm really mad at myself. I stopped the stream as soon as I went live. For some reason, I thought it said start streaming because I was talking while I was doing. All right. Bloopers. Community. Lots of bloopers right now. Collab. Going live again. Community collab without the S. Not found. All right. Couple. Let's just reset here. I went live on Bandlab just now, then stopped the stream for some reason. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm gonna be doing a separate stream on Bandlab, and I did one the other day. It was actually really fun. It was a good test, and it's actually still very collaborative. Once people get more involved with the Bandlab and the other apps, it's actually still very collaborative stream. So I'm excited about those. Okay, we're gonna get into today's thing. We're actually loading in collab. I'm still gonna go live in Bandlab. Give me a second, but we're gonna be working on the collab 11 now. Again, this is the 11th collab in order following season 1, 8 collabs. So we have 8 collabs from season 1, and this season, collab 9, 10, 11. We're going to work on 11 today. I'm loading the samples into the project. That being said, I forgot to tell y'all, I'm actually, this week, I'm still going to finish up what we had planned. I'm going to get all these projects loaded into Bandlab, these and season 1. So we're going to have at least 15, and I'm going to keep going on. But we're going to get a lot of projects loaded into Bandlab as private projects. I'm going to do a lot of that by the end of this week. So this week's normal. But starting next week is when I am going to start the new switch up, where we're going to focus on one track at a time, basically. And I am going to be putting... I don't know if I'm going in order, but I probably will start with collab 9 here. I don't know yet. But we're going to basically try to do one track a week. It should be easy right now because we spent 7 weeks preparing for this already, preparing all the samples in collab. So this right now should be easy to go on for a good while, doing with a whole bunch of projects already prepared for us. But anyways, starting on Mondays, Monday to Friday. By Friday, we'll want to wrap up the project. You know what I mean? So that being said, we want to make it like simple challenge style tracks, not like let's spend forever making it perfect. It's more like let's see how quick and awesome and good we can make tracks in a week's time, and if we keep doing it week after week, how much better we get doing it again and again and again, and then we never know what the track will be for the next week, because again, it's community collab. So depending on the samples that get sent in and the samples I pull out of the packs, every week could be very different, of course. All right, so we're going to work on that track today. I'm going to try to go live one more time on Bandlab, and then we're going to jump into the nitty-gritty works there that we got to get done today. So let's pull that window up. Pull Bandlab up again. Refresh there. I mean, I know I've basically been geeking out about Bandlab a lot lately, but there's a reason for that. It's just because I see value in it, I see potential in it. I recently joined their Discord, which seems to be popping. Popping? Do people still say that? I recommend joining it. It's very active, so it can get a little crazy, and they're like other big communities. But Bandlab Discord, they just started promoting it, so I don't know how long ago they actually created it and how exclusive it's been or whatever. Maybe I've just been missing it, but they've been sharing it now on their actual when you log in. But it's a great play. Well, I'm just saying I'm doing my due diligence, doing my duty as guild leader to go in here and promote the community in the different channels they supply to us. So it's like Bandlab promos, Bandlab communities. So can't find anything here right now because there's tons of stuff on Instagram, but looking for a community, so I shared the Bandlab community there. It's going to be a great place to find collabs, other promos. So I can share our Twitch channel, I can share our live streams, share stuff like that. And I have shared a couple of these channels. I'm just forgetting which ones they are. So anyways, gonna definitely keep sharing, promoting, and involving. And one day when we can afford it, we'll multicast to all the platforms. So go here. I'm gonna click live. I'm gonna try this one more time. Community collab. Start. So it went live, and then I hit stop immediately because it was not. Copy. Jump over here to Restream IO setting. Thing about Bandlab is they update the stream key every time. Unlike all these other, like most other streaming services, you don't want to give your stream key away at all because it's so risky, because they basically, anyone can stream to your channel. Bandlab, what is kind of nice about that is that this thing retires and expires really quickly. In fact, it's already used now. And but the problem is with that is I have to put the code in again every single time. Okay, let's see if this works. Bandlab going live. And I shared it to the page last time too, so now we're at like double notify people. I don't know if people get actually pinged notifications for these, but it shares it to my page, which is nice. All right, it worked. Share to feed again. Don't hit stop share. So I'm gonna go. My idea is to always put it over here on the side so we can maybe monitor the chat. But honestly, the chat has a few little bugs, I think, and it doesn't always update. And also, it gets out of control. I don't know. I never know what I'm going to see when I pull that up. So, together. Should be live on Bandlab now. Bandlab doesn't. It doesn't. Bandlab's a little different in the sense that it doesn't record your stream, so it's more real time, and you can't rewind. So I'm never too worried about catching like announcements and intros and stuff over there on the Bandlab side of things. It's more just go with the just go live and not worry too much, because what's good about that is I don't have to worry about too much like getting the stream perfect over there. When it goes live, people slowly trickle in, they'll see the stream and they'll tune in. And if they want to catch the actual replays, they can come over to Twitch and YouTube, which is nice. Hey Reba. Just getting into the work now after the long updates and announcements. I am going to be loading in samples from now titled Collab 11. It's not really titled, but we'll figure out the numbers later. Collab 11, Super Z Russell, Alpha J, Antimatter, Subluxa, Fox the Galaxy, Heim, Kitsune Power, Anandite. This is a big one. This is going to be hard to fit all these samples in it. I like the challenge of this. Let's just say that for sure. We got to start with. I guess we'll start with Super Z Russell samples. Hey, Full Mana, Reba, and Full Mana in the chat. Good to see everyone today. Zandit stopped by. Miro stopped by. Full Mana. You know what? You have sent me something. I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I'm totally gonna listen to what you sent me, and give you like some honest feedback. I didn't want to just be fake with it. And like, hey, cool. I'm gonna listen to it when I get some time. Zandit's still here. Full Mana, everybody. Good to see some people I haven't seen in a while today. All right, so we're about to pull in some Super Z Russells to this track. So this project's 150 BPM. It's in the key of E minor, and 150 BPM, 75 halftime. It's got a lot of people stacked in here. So I'm going to try to just pull 1 or 2 samples from each person to get this started. So I just want to kind of fill up the template. And from there, we'll just see what happens. So let's go. I'm going to just start with the Super Z Russell pack. I'm going to do the public pack, the ones that we like curated. Go. Super Z Russell. That was loud on my headphones. Was that loud in the stream? I need to rebalance some of my settings. I think it was just my headphones. It's actually probably a little quiet in the stream. All right, let's put some bass in here. Start with some. Let's go. I'm gonna be chopping a lot of these samples up to mix them together. Zandit says I'm just coding my website. My brother's been super coding lately. Code monkeys. I hope that's not offensive. I heard that on a show the other day. Code monkeys. Yeah, so my brother's all in the coding. It stuff blows my mind. I can't do that stuff. Uh, Full Mana, what's up with you? How you doing? I know you always got some good things going on involving music and stuff. How's everyone else doing? I am really trying to grow, do my best to promote the stream in other ways. So it's slowly growing. I like that our viewers are regulars. You know what I mean? Like people we know. We don't get too many just like random organic people stopping by, but we just everyone that stops by we know them. That's really nice. Cool man, it's got a release coming up soon. Definitely feel free to always promote your stuff here on on this music production arena stream. You can promote your stuff here anytime. We'd play it if you definitely made sure we never got struck for copyright, but you know how that goes, especially on Twitch. They're strict with that stuff. And when you putting your stuff out through major labels and other publishing services, they got automatic things that tag you now. That's got to be careful with things. But I definitely want to let people know that there's ways to promote your stuff through music production arena. Hey, that's literally one of my favorite Monster Cat artists. I know everyone says all his songs sound the same, but actually what I like about them, that's what I like about Tokyo Machine, him, is that all his songs, like, they're all 128 BPM, and they all have very similar sound. You can easily do a DJ set with those, but I mean, it would be nice to see him switch it up some, you know, and his collabs are just a little different here, but you definitely see that Tokyo Machine gets they always go 120, even when he does collabs, they're like, Tokyo Machine's like, no, we do 128. It's a 128 bass house, which is nice. I love that stuff. Yeah, I like it a lot. Fond memories of walking up and down the streets of Vegas, catching the bus, listening to a lot of release, because you know Tokyo Machine releases single after single after single after single. Doesn't ever release albums really. The only album they really released was a remix album of his song Play. But yeah, and then he's been on a bunch of like Rocket League stuff. Cool Mana says if you want to listen to Tokyo Machine do something different, listen to Silent. Is that Tokyo Machine side project? Okay, before we jump, okay, let me write that down. I was gonna pop in there and do it, but I'll write that down so we don't get too detoured. I'll check it out later. Xana says, can I test my Twitch embed with your channel? Yeah, go for it. Okay, they are the same person. Okay, good to know. I always love to know people's side projects like Virtual Self and Porter Robertson and all the other side projects I actually don't know. Like you find out way later and you feel like you've been out of the loop. Silent was first. Okay, interesting. I have heard of Silent, or I've seen that name maybe in a collab or something. Do y'all like Kid? K?D? Is it just, I mean, or you still got the bad rep as being like a Porter Robinson clone or whatever. Is that someone's side project that I don't know about? I really do like Kid a lot. I like Kid. Silent's also a Monster Cat, yeah. I used to go through Monster Cat website a lot and look at all the incoming artists, then it got a little out of control. New artists. They started signing, they even did Cascade. I've been listening to Cascade for a long time, and Cascade goes way back. But now Cascade's even releasing on Monster Cat. So that just shows Monster Cat how mainstream they finally went. And signing, now they're picking up artists that have been released, I guess, from other labels. I don't know how it goes down. I'm not going to just assume and guess things. But Cascade, completely different style from a lot of that stuff. But if you listen to Cascade's Monster Cat tracks, it's some of the best stuff Cascade's ever released. It's crazy to see someone's long career. I'm talking about pretty long career. Cascade goes back to like 2001, I think. Still releasing tracks, and the tracks today are just as good as and even better than any of the tracks. So, Monster Cat, go Monster Cat. Full Man says I literally only listen to Riot and Pegboard nerds on Monster Cat at this point. It's been weird. I've actually this year I usually listen to like hundreds of artists and try to keep up with everyone, all my favorite artists. This year I did kind of find myself listening to my favorite artists. I've listened to a lot of Madion, Porter Robinson, Skrillex, Cascade, and Deadmau5, and then I've branched out to some new artists. My favorite new artist is Pilot, and my favorite lo-fi artist is Kupla. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I've been listening to stuff like that. I guess, I don't know, just the warm feels and stuff, but I'm ready to do some more exploring. That's why I'm always asking people like new artists that I haven't heard about. I'm all about that. Oh, and Stephen Walken, yeah, for sure. All right, let's go. Let's get this. These are Super C Russell tracks. Full Metal, we've still been working on community collabs hardcore. If you ever do want to jump on, it's as easy as just sending a few samples or whatever. But it got out of control with this list. Look at this list. We ended up with like 40 people almost this season sending samples to the collab. So I ended up with a huge little sample library. And then if you add all the people from last season and even a lot of people that said they want to send samples, they just haven't sent samples yet. We've got like this, we've got a huge list of our Music Production Arena members sending samples. So this got really fun. So I switched it up, and now we're basically doing a new collab every week. And we're just going to be knocking out collabs just for fun. I say just for fun, as in like we're not going to get super picky with the perfection of them, but we are going to just knock out a new track every week. And yeah, in fact, every week it's going to change. But it doesn't actually matter because, time stretching and key stretching and stuff like that. But I do like to keep them some of this. But for example, like next week, Monday, we're going to be working on this collab here. That's pretty well stacked. But it's 174 beats per minute, and it's E minor. And we actually got a little document to help us kind of keep track, and I'm going to keep organizing this. But then like the following week, we got 128 beats per minute, D sharp minor. It's a bass house track that Foxy Galaxy started. And actually really nice track. It's actually sounding pretty good. It needs a lot of work, but it's a pretty nice one. So each week we're going to start a new one, and then the following week, which is actually what we're working on right now too, by the way, this track. I'm just doing a little maintenance today, house cleaning. But this track right here, 150 beats per minute, E minor is the following week. So we're just going to keep going. And when I run out of these ideas, I'm going to dig into these huge list of samples packs that I got from Let's Keep Growing. And I'm going to find new ones. So, as you said, I think you originally said when we were talking that you would like to start your own collab anyway, start a fresh project. So if you were to send me a fresh drum, maybe a drum track and a bass line or drum and a lead or something that really speaks to your style and like all the little elements, but then you leave room for maybe a couple other people to jump in, we'll just start a fresh collab. And these don't have to go in order, by the way, everyone. This spreadsheet, I'm going to probably go out of order and we can sneak other ones in here. This is just a backup of everything what we've been working on, so I don't lose track of everything. But I definitely am trying to make the collabs to become more interactive, and you can either stop by in real time and send a sample in real time, or maybe send something and say, hey, when you get time, use this for something in the future. But then everything we come up with, just share it on SoundCloud and Bandlab and some of these other, like, the easy to upload websites, and keep it very collaborative in nature and royalty free almost in nature. Jellybeanator. Hey, I know the people that have been watching the stream the last couple of days are probably tired of me saying this, but it's very important that I update everyone. I'm gonna private message probably everyone involved with the collabs to let y'all know this, but there's a huge update. Jellybean, now that you just got here, we've switched, a big switch up. I'll just say it real short right now so we can get back to work, and I'll tell you more about it later. But we have switched from doing 10 collabs, 8 collabs at one time, a full album at one time, 40 people at one time. This is ridiculous. Got out of control. I think it's best for us to do one collab a week, and every week switch it up, make it fresh if we want, and we'll move right through these pretty much in the same time frame. 10, a collab a week. So I carried on from season 1. We did 8 collabs in season 1. So this would be collab number 9. And I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to update the spreadsheet. I'm going to get us a document with all the collabs and all the information from every season. But so we're just going to continue on. Starting next week, we're going to do collab 9. And then we're going to, each week, we're going to try weekly. And we're going to switch up. We're going to switch up every Monday, start a new track. I think it'd be fun. And we've got a lot of samples to pull from. So if no one shows up for the live stream to send me samples in real time, I'll just start pulling from the packs that we already have. And then, of course, I will always encourage people to send me samples in real time. For like right now. I mean, not necessarily right now, because actually I have plenty of samples for what we're doing. But let's just say we're working on a collab, and y'all know it's 150 E minor. You could have your FL Studio. I'm sorry. You could have your Ableton pulled up also. and at the same time as the stream right next to it, and be making samples in real time with me, sending them over to me in real time, dropping them into Discord. I'll be dropping them right in here to thing, and it's like a old call-in show where you called into the show, but we'll do it with a live music production. I think it lends itself to that whole metaverse thing, right? Sort of. A big part of the metaverse is the actual virtual side of it too. But I think the lines are going to be blurred here really soon. Let me close my curtain. It got dark outside, now people are looking in. Big part of the metaverse is the virtual side of it, the visual, like, a representation of a world and stuff. But I think the lines are going to be very blurred here, and they're going to start seeing how actually just combining any social media and networking and sharing style of app and collab style of thing, and communicating that in some kind of vibe that seems like you're on a virtual studio very much speaks to that same realm. But if it's up to me, I am going to have a virtual reality recording studio for Music Production Arena one day. It's going to be straight up like, go to the website, put your headset on, or just desktop, and walk around in our little studio and be able to interact with all the members and the music so that's been posted, and then have your little rooms. And that stuff, we already have the technology. It's just about knowing what you're doing. Oh yeah, Xandit knows how to code websites. I actually already know a website that does virtual spaces, but I need to actually use Unity Engine and figure out how to do it a little bit more. I don't know. Anyways, let's finally get into this project. I'm sorry, everybody. I know this turns into a podcast more than an actual production stream. We got some bass channels here. I'm gonna pick one of these basses finally. Let's go with this first one. You know, the problem is this track's E minor, so we're just gonna have to pitch this around a little. I'm gonna look at all these to see if there's one that's already basically E minor we should start with. Yeah, let's start with this. All right, so got gain stage it down. Okay, start loading this stuff in. I'm gonna start loading. Definitely want to. If you look at this spreadsheet, we had a whole bunch of people that we already tested out a lot of their samples, and we realized a lot of these samples actually did sound pretty good together. Which is this one here. Kitson horn stabs or whatever they were, really made the track sound good together. So I need to go in and make sure we pull all those original samples that we had planned from these packs. So let's make sure I stay on track there. So I'm just definitely pull maybe 1 or 2 Super Z Russell samples, and then we'll jump over to the next person on the list. Xanda says, "What you need?" I heard my name. I was talking about how I wanted to code a virtual reality recording studio on the Music Production Arena website. And I said I wanted to use Unity. The problem without using Unity, people would have to download the app on their computer. It would actually be a download. But I dream more of the day that it's a browser-based VR experience. And you can put your headset on and just do the browser version. And I know that's kind of possible. You know, Full Mana, you showed me something with Porter Robinson's website once that was very virtual and neat. But I checked that out. It was kind of what I'm talking about. I would like to see the day. Anyways, you were talking about coding. I don't want to overwhelm you. And I ain't got no money to pay you. So don't worry about me. I was just talking about the future because, you know, I have a plan. I have plans. Okay, of course I'm gonna chop that up later. I'm just gonna loop it for now so we can start side chaining and something. Let's get a drum beat. Hopefully you got a Super Z Russell drum beat. Super Z. Here we got this drum beat. All right. I'm just getting the volumes right. Very loud. All right, let's go ahead and try to sidechain it with the sidechain compression on that sub bass here. I'm gonna have to like add a little bit of release. Let's turn the top layer back on. Go back to the sub. I'm gonna solo the sub and just kind of get a good listen to it. That's good foundation. Well, let's dig into some other people's packs before we go any farther on here. Then says I could make a DAW in Ruby. I believe you can make a lot of things, but I value your time and your projects that you have stacked. You know, people get a lot of dreams, and they get a lot of stuff on their plate, and they do all this stuff, and then you get down halfway through the project and you realize how much work it's going to take to finish the project, and that's where anything becomes very daunting. I pretty much don't start anything that I know that I'm not going to 100% finish. So at this point, like, yeah, I get ideas all the time. I write them down and I prioritize them, and I think, and what's really neat is you kind of shift your micro attention focus subconsciously on that little stuff, and over time you naturally kind of create that stuff. I'm not going to say manifest. It's not Oprah, but I'm going to say you kind of manifest. You kind of manifest. You just build yourself a little vision board, stare at it every day, and you tell yourself, I can. Just fun. I don't do that. But if you just write down your ideas and you don't lose them, and then kind of your best ideas rise to the top. And I always recommend do what's enjoyable. Don't do what don't do what you just want the results of. Best examples like, oh, I want to have my own business, so I want to be a businessman, and I'm going to go to school for a million years and become a business. And then you get into it and you're building a business, and then you all of a sudden you realize like you really hate half the stuff it takes to build a business, and you have to tell yourself like, why did I want to do this every day of my life? So it's really important, whatever you decide to do, financially and hobby, is that you actually straight up enjoy it. And the thing about music is there's different workflows, and some workflows are not enjoyable. Straight up, I see people workflows all the time. Like, man, if I was making music like that, I would not be having a fun time. You got to find a workflow that's enjoyable for you too, and that's a big part of just wanting to come back and do it again and again every day, is because it's enjoyable, not just like, oh, I want the results, so I'm gonna go slave away. I mean, there's something to be said about working for results, but you know, it gets old. Dice says, I got hot dogs on my plate. I just went grab dinner. It's about that time. You always get dinner at this time, and then always reminds me that I get to eat in about an hour. Bon appetit, says Reba. Yeah, I've been listening to my brother. He will energy drain me now with his long conversations about coding. He's learning how to code games. I'm glad though. I saw the light bulb switch off when he finally started learning how to coding, because he's been learning how to 3D model for the longest time, and he can 3D model like no one's business, and it looks amazing. Very, very, very real renders and stuff. But learning how to code the game is another whole battle. But then when I saw him like taking lessons on coding and seeing how really easy it is once you know how to do it, how to put the pieces together, how to create a game, actually create a game, I go, oh wow, now my brother can take all his art and just put it into this game, and there you got a game. So I'm like, it's all coming together. Subluxa, we're doing one collab at a time now. I think it's really great news. I know I keep telling them. Okay, we're gonna jump over to the packs. Subluxa, I'll update you a little bit more about that later. I think I might have already told you in Discord, but we decided to do one collab at a time, 1 week at a time maybe, and we'll stick to the spreadsheet. I'll be updating this spreadsheet a lot, Subluxa. to organize what I'm talking about, and I'll get this way. It's going to be a much better spreadsheet. It's going to be a whole new spreadsheet. It's going to be way more organized. It's going to have all the information. But we're basically just going to pick a new collab every week and try to knock it out by the end of the week, and then upload it to Bandlab and SoundCloud to be shared and more. And anyone can collab it, join in at any time on it, even after we release it and remix and stuff like that. So, all right, Subluxa, updated Subluxa. Okay. Open up that spreadsheet one more time. The next person on this collab, Alpha J, Antimatter, Subluxa. Let's go to Alpha J's pack. I don't know if Alpha J ever sent me the thing for this. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's go with that one. That's F. We'll pitch it down one. All right, so I just dropped that in. It's already 150 beats per minute. I think that's F, so I'm gonna drop it down just one. Nope, one semitone down, and it should be on E now. Gain stage it. Okay. More and that. Oh. I'm gonna chop this stuff up. I keep reminding people because I don't want y'all to think I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna be like choosing like slices from the different bases and then choosing which order they go in. Okay, let's just stick with one sample for now. We gotta fit everyone here. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. Next on the list is Antimatter. I see someone looking at the spreadsheet. Is that you, Subluxa? Yeah, it's a mess right now. The spreadsheet is a mess. I'm gonna update it. Trust me. It's gonna make me feel better. As I get this all organized. I'm gonna keep all the information. I'm just gonna organize it. We've got a list of people that sent samples. We even got a list of people that said they wanted to. They just never did. So that means I'm just probably gonna maybe bother them again in the future, asking if they still want to. And then we have all the collabs that we started, but then we had to move around. And then we even have another list over here of people that just sent me really solid samples that are all worthy of their own collab for the most part. So we've got lots of collabs. So when I organize this spreadsheet, it'll make a lot more sense. And I'll be working on that a little each day, get that right. Okay, let's go over to Antimatter's pack. We don't need the kick. And we could use that kick for a little different kick, but let me just throw this synth in here. Let's put it on track 4. I said track 3. Okay, track 4. I wonder if this is already E. We never picked out the key of this. Kind of like a rising. It's kind of chromatic. It's going through all the keys, but it still probably has like a main key. figure out the key later. Okay, that's an antimatter sample. What else we got here? It's like a processed version of it. Whoa. Put it on the same track. Insert 11. Alright, we can use that for sure. So Bluxa says, look at their sample pack real quick. Alright. The Bluxa. Yeah, something happened with your sample pack, by the way. I don't know what happened. You know, I mean, first thing that happened, I forgot to pay the Google Drive bill, so our memory locks us out of our memory. We share 100 gigabytes on there for this project, anyways, and it's like a couple bucks a month. Anyways, it's switch cards. I forgot to switch that. Anyways, then that caused us to get locked out. But then I paid that, and then I went back and like your folder was like it's all the samples out into the master folder, and then I don't know what happened. So I actually just put everything in here and deleted it or something. I backed everything up and removed the public pack one. We're gonna have to redo that or something. No, they're all right here. Good. All right, so Bluxa said they added a sample. Let's find it here. Collab. Which folder is it not used? It's in the main area. Okay. What's it called? Not in the. So this is the main stack right here, right? Is it for this project? 160 heavy lead F. What did you use to make this? I'm not gonna listen to this whole thing. It's really long right now, but we can use this. It's cool. Ouch. It hurts. There's some sharp frequencies in there, but if you use it right and you mix it right and process it right, you can do some cool stuff with this. 160 F. We have a track in the project somewhere. I just want to see this. Just remember. So now that we're doing like one collab a week and stuff, just make sure that whatever week that we tune in, whatever project we're on that week, you know, just remind me that you have samples at that BPM and key or whatever. If we have to, if we need room, we'll switch them in here. By the way, Subluxa, you have some samples for this project. Let's jump over to those right now and pull them in. What do you have in your pack that's 150 BPM? Here it is, E minor. You got this piano, and you got this bass. You got some pure sub here. I'm gonna save that. Wait, do these belong together? This wub bass and the sub bass? Looks like those probably. Let's bring this piano in though. All right, we got a piano from Subluxa. I'm gonna drop into this track. Hey, Bandlab. You're watching on Bandlab. Follow the page. Lots of updates coming soon. More about that later. All right. They are the same bass line. Okay, so that sub bass belongs with that other bass. Okay, I'll be sure to route that properly. In fact, we can put that in now. Watch this. So we go. But first, I'm going to put in the piano, and then we'll put that bass in. So on piano, I'm going to put on track 7. As a reminder, everybody, all this stuff will get chopped up later. I'm just inserting the samples into the project, the template. So that's the workflow I like. I like to load everything that I have, get it all ready, and then I do the arrangement and stuff after. Okay, let's go back to hey, Fox the Galaxy. I think I saw you pop in, but I forgot to address you. Oh. Howdy, you Fox. What happened next? What happened? What happened? What's happening? Fox, were you here yesterday when I told everybody we're going to be doing one track at a time now? It's the biggest update to the collabs because it just makes more sense. I think the longer I do these, the more like laid back and more they'll become just, I don't know, not so. The biggest problem I was having is I was making it a little bit too eventful too. Big gigantic event. We had 40 people, all these collabs at one time, big humongous project. I kind of shifted it over to, okay, cool. I'm glad I already told you because I've basically been repeating myself every time anyone comes into the chat. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Just listening here. Okay, so all these samples are working pretty good together. They're not, nothing's clipping. You know, the side chain is helping, and of course, but everything works pretty good together so far. So far. All right, there are two different ones. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm just building up the kit, basically. Okay, you got the sub bass in here, Sublux. So let's put this in here. So I'm gonna put them on track 12. I need to insert one because you have a separate sub for the bass. So go that. All right, and then let's go. So Blexa, 150 beats per minute, E minor, wub bass. That's just the top layer. Let's go sub. Together, these would be pretty loud, I imagine. Turn these down together. Did they keep the? No. Daddy says almost everyone that usually shows up showed up. Feels that way. Although I could think of a couple. But yeah, you said almost. No, I mean, it's always like that. I always feel like, oh, I've seen everyone, and then I go look at a list of people that we actually in contact with, and I'm always surprised about how many active members we actually do have.
It's not like this huge, gigantic, you know, loud city style community, but it's more of a humble, like small town community. But I go through all my like the people that I actually talk to, message, and contact with on all the different platforms. And I start putting like them in kind of like a list kind of thing as I do. I realized, man, we got a really solid core foundation to the what I consider to be music production arena, the community. Yeah, let's change. Okay, so we've loaded Subluxa samples in here. We've loaded Super Z Russell samples in here. We've loaded Antimatter samples in here. Some other people. Now let's go to the next spreadsheet. Would be working on this collab today. Collab 11 right now. Just loading these in. So Antimatter Subluxa. Next is Fox Galaxy. What did we have from the Fox Galaxy pack? What did we have? Let's go back to Fox. Fox of Galaxy. This folder gets bigger and bigger every time. Lost Box samples. I'm excited for that project to hear more variety. Go with new with all. Here's a hat loop. Hey, we could use that hat loop. Let's use this hat loop from Fox of Galaxy. I always turn my headphones down really quiet when I'm mixing in hats and high frequencies, and I do the same with vocals too. There's a very cool ambience. Oh, did we just lose the live stream? Give me 1 second to check the live stream. I'm gonna assume we're still going, but it shows dropout. Oh, we're back. So something happened. I don't know what happened. Is it back on all channels? Looks like it went down and came back up on Twitch. Go YouTube. Live now on YouTube. I guess we'll go ahead and check Bandlab. If it stayed up on Bandlab, I'd be surprised. I don't think it did. Anyways, let's go. I'm gonna check these notifications real quick. Hey, those watching on Bandlab that followed, thanks for following. I will be sure to update everyone with all the details of our community on the Bandlab side of things. Okay, so we're back. We went down for a minute. I don't know what happened, but hopefully we're all back on the stream. Get a drink of water here. Okay, so I got a hi-hat thing pulled in and mixed with the drum beat. This one should mix together pretty smooth, although we got a lot of more samples to bring in. Sublux is asking, is there any more A major samples in the pack? There's not a lot of major key stuff, although Young Outsider sent something very simple that was in the major key, and I think Mr. KK sent some stuff in major keys. And Deity has some stuff in the major key packs, I believe, but not necessarily all in those packs there. We'll work with it. I do want to definitely do that Moreland track. That Moreland track, let's build a track around that Moreland track for real. So, Blux, if you want to build some stuff for that Moreland track, we'll make that one of the coming up collabs for sure. And that's really nice. That's one of the ones on the list that I was just like, when I started looking at that one and so many of the other ones that I realized I remembered that were just such great starting points for a track to begin with. Oh, look, I already have y'all through. I realized we had too many projects to try to mash together into so few collabs. I wanted to make sure each one got it. It's really important. All right, so Flux is using the Moreland baseline. Very cool. I want to hear what you do with it. That'd be nice. I definitely want to get to that track soon. It's like I got a lot I want to get to soon, and I will come up with a really good order. I'm not going to spoil it necessarily too far into the future and make up my mind, but I definitely will start coming up with like not going in order here, but I'll start coming up with a way to check off what we have done and what we haven't done, and we'll just move through all the collabs. Really, another way to think of it is these collabs don't really exist yet. We're just going to focus on one at a time. So I'm going to kind of archive a lot of these notes and ideas, and we're really just going to put all our focus into one collab at a time. So meaning, you know, we don't need to really worry that we have like collab 15, collab 20, all this stuff, all these different people's names on it. That stuff's not written in stone. We don't know yet. We're just going to kind of take our focus back off that, shift gears, and figure things out in more logical ways. Next week, we will be working on collab 9, though. I've decided. So Monday, if you really want some Luxa, if you want to come ready for this one, you've already got some samples for it, but come ready for on Monday, 174 BPM, 174 beats per minute, E minor. And we're going to spend all week next week. And by the end of the week, we will have a track done from season 2 community collab. That's the challenge, anyways. I want this ambient sound. Go. Track 8. Fox the Galaxy ambient. Probably pitch it around maybe if it doesn't fit right away, but figure out the key of it. Like if I was to guess. That's not how I usually figure out keys. I was just trying to figure out hair frequency a little louder. I usually pick it. I'm gonna hum it out loud. It's kind of what it sounds like, right? This is like an A sharp. That you know, that might be a one of the that may be like the fifth or third, something in the scale of whatever we're in. What are we in? We're in E minor. I'll show you all the E minor. Let's go back here. E minor is boop, boop, boop. There is no A sharp in E minor. So this A sharp sounding pad I just pulled in is probably gonna end up clashing with the whole mix. We can try to pull it down an octave. I mean, down a semitone, like just one note down to the A. That would be the 5th, I believe. So, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's pitch it up. Let's pitch it up to the B. That would be the 5th. Pitch it up 1. So that'd be like the 5th of the scale. See if it even sounds good with it. I don't know if we make it fit. I mean, we definitely try some other things, but trying to make it more like atmospheric, almost bring up more of the high frequencies by cutting out all the lows, but it just really changed. It'd be better if it was. I mean, I don't know if it'd be better, but it'd be nice if it was like an E. It'd be let's pitch it quite a bit to get it over to the E minor, but let's just leave it there for now. Mess with it later. And Daddy says it sounds like it's shifting between 2 notes. It has some overtones in there, something that kind of do that. Come back to it. This one sounds nice. And Daddy, we need to get to your pack. Do you have, and Daddy, you had some stuff already ready for this, right? I think. Let's see here. Fox Galaxy. Most of your samples were used for this collab 10 here that you sent me for this season. Although, like I said, you have a lot of samples. There'll be days I just spend more time digging through the raw samples and fitting them in. But right now, I'm actually looking for the loops that I created. All the loops that have names on them with the samples and stuff. Sure, Subluxa, go ahead and drop it in the pack. Remember, this week we're still just loading up the samples into the projects. I'm really excited to start next week because that's when we're going to start the new, actually finishing off the track. The reason why I think that's so much better is I just think it's going to be better for all this Subluxa and everyone that sends samples in real time. It's going to be nice to just really submit something into the collabs and see it come to life by the end of the week instead of waiting and waiting and waiting. Y'all sent stuff. Subluxa, you sent a lot of stuff. Everyone sent me samples weeks ago now. It just feels like the waiting is a little... It's not worth it. Like I mean, I don't know if it's worth it or not worth it, but I'm just saying that it's going to be so much better, the new system. But this week, I'm still just loading these samples into the projects, and I'm going to get them all loaded up on Bandlab. So we're starting the new schedule next week on Monday. Heim sent a sample, huh? Heim. Which sample was Heim's? KPs. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the bottom of the list, and we're going to go back up. We're going to do Indites, then we're going to do KPs, and we're going to do Heims. Now remember what Heims is. Heims is like a full-on, like, it's not, they're not the stems, it's like the full-on little beat. Okay, let's go to the Indite pack. Yeah, we pulled a lot of stuff for Indite. Indite. So we have crashes. Let's use all these crashes for sure. Let's go. All right, we got about 20 minutes left. I'm going to start loading in some more of these samples. I do need to get a drink of water. So I'm going to take a second. But it looks like Indite's got a lot of things here. We got crash cymbals. We got some effects. I'm going to load all these effects in. We've got some like side kicks, secondary kicks we can use. We already have some more little one-shot samples and stuff like that. So we can load all these samples in as extra percussion, and for the breakdown drum beats and stuff like that. It's always good to have 2 different drum set kits almost sometimes for the 2 different parts of your tracks. Or just like edit all the drum kit. You have one main drum kit and then you edit all those samples for the secondary drum kit a little to make them a little softer maybe. All right, so what synth did you add? You had a bunch of C. We'll pitch it up to E. Pitch that up to E. We'll get all that stuff in here. All right, I'm gonna get my drink of water. And we're going. And Daddy says I also added some stuff to my pack yesterday. I think it's called more mental or something like that. Awesome. Do you think it'd fit into this song? Should I drop these samples in here? Your new ones? Because we'll definitely try. And then when we get back around to the projects, let's see. Starting on Monday, you're on that track too. So let's really start getting all our focus for new samples coming in. This track here. That's the most important thing. What I'm doing right now is actually just cleaning up what we started, the mess that we started, and I'm just loading in the samples we already got, the seamless loops. Any new samples that y'all want to send me right now, let's just start focusing on next week. We're going to be working on that track up there. And then, or you can send it for some of the other ones. But let's just first load these in. Let's get a couple samples from everybody on the list, and then we'll go back and try to figure out where else can we squeeze in some samples. And Daddy, you have a lot of stuff here. I would like to have some unique things that we don't already have. We need these drums, these extra drum things, these effects are going to be really nice. In fact, we didn't have enough of these effects last season. I need a lot more of these effects for all the tracks. All right, let me get my drink of water. While I am gone, I will just, I don't know, play with this, randomly. All right, getting that drink of water. I'll be right back. I always say the best stuff when my microphone's muted and y'all can't hear me. All right. Give me a second. Okay. We're back. And I'm back. Let me change the little sign away. I got my drink of water. I came back. This sounds really good. I dropped in the hi-hat. I dropped in this crash symbol from Untitled. We're gonna load all these symbols in from Untitled. And then Untitled, I'm gonna get over to these other samples you might have sent after I loaded in the samples that you sent here. We'll check it all out. Sublux is saying you should send more awards to redeem. You should add more awards. I do want to add things like that, is what I was saying, but what exactly are you talking about? Like, what platform are you talking about adding awards on? I want to create some kind of achievement system for challenges and other things in the collab things that we do for and I was saying when my microphone was muted, I was mentioning like kind of like video games have achievements and they're more just to accomplish things and stuff. I feel like on Twitch. Yeah, I want to figure out how to do that. We definitely will. Hey, this won't take long. I'm just gonna jump over here real quick. Twitch. I ran out of spaces for VIP, but it says the more people we get talking on the Twitch channel at one time, we hit the next goal, we can get more VIPs to hand out. So that's how that works. Anyways, I've given out the VIPs to the most active Twitch users, but just want y'all to know, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing special about it other than it just does indicate that you're a very active Twitch user. And I wish I could give out more because we do have a lot of members that show up regularly. But we only give out 10 VIPs. Anyways, I got all these achievements here. These are just for the for me, myself, and growing the community. But as far as giving out achievements to members, I don't know exactly how to do that. I have been following everyone, following me, following y'all back. And if I recognize your name, I add you as a friend. I am going to take the time to grow the community. So on Twitch and figure out all the features they have here. Points. Okay, the points. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I just don't know how to use it. You know what, Sublexa? I will get into that and figure it out right after the stream. Look at this. I'm gonna do that. You know what? I'll look it up and figure out how to do that. I've been meaning to do that. I've been slowly figuring out the whole Twitch side of things and really making sure that's the best it can be. So let me write it down and I'll figure out how to do that. And if you have any ideas for what they should be and achievement, and I also, like you said, we need more emojis or whatever they are, stickers, whatever those things are called, down there for the members stuff. So if you can help me with that or know where to get those, educate me. You know, because honestly, this is a it's a community effort. You've given me a lot of great ideas, Sublexa, honestly. So keep them coming. All right. As I was also saying, I think when my microphone was muted, how much I like when this happens right here. This is one of my favorite parts about the collabs that we've been doing. Is when we start putting the samples together and they actually work together. Because like right here, we have a Super C Russell kick and snare, a Fox of Galaxy hi-hat cymbal thing. Then we have some crashes from Untitled. We threw those loops together to get what's going to be the drum beat for the most part of this track. And that's feels really cool, I think. And then of course now we have all these other things. So now we have Sublexa. Space. I'm about to mix it later. I've got other mixing techniques. I haven't got it all figured out, but I've got a lot of mixing techniques that I'm not going to do this stage. I do it later when I start arranging the tracks and really start picking what's going to be with what.
and then I start mixing the elements, all the elements together. That's when I do the more, you know, I'm sure most of you have heard you don't want to mix in solo and stuff. That's pretty much the same thing here. I don't want to start mixing all these little fine details without knowing all the other elements of the track. So I really just keep just little adjustments here and there, mainly just the volume. And we're gonna leave all that stuff for later. We'll fine tune that stuff. But as I've mentioned in the past, I'm always just looking at the limiter over here, and I don't like to press into the green line, the ceiling. I don't like the limit on the master at all, but I do use it as a reference point for how loud we're getting. So I put a limiter on the master just to see what causes it to go over, and then I try my hardest to fix it from going over. And then when I finally render out the master, the pre-master, I take that limiter off. So it ends up being at -6-ish dB, how I do my pre-masters. But anyways, I have this limiter here just to watch what's happening. So if you see me constantly like, that's my main focus for loudness mixing, basically. Check my pack real quick. One second. I need to finish what I was doing here, and then I'll check the pack. It's my fault because I keep talking and getting sidetracked. I need to pull these Untitled samples in. We haven't done it yet. All right, here we go. That's what we're doing right now. Pulling in these crashes. We have more to this kit than just these. So let's go. That was one. We have actually 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're all a little bit different. So how I'm going to pull these in is I'm going to clone this track here. Clone it. Clone it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll drop all these in here. 1, 2, 3, 5. Now let me forget Subluxa. We'll get to that after I drop these Untitled samples. I gotta get the Untitled crashes in there, and then get the Untitled effects, and then Untitled just sent some samples. I gotta go check those out, and then we'll jump out and check the Subluxa samples out. And we did it all in the next 10 minutes. Just play. Stream is almost over though. Let's go. Okay, so I got all those samples in here. Now I want to pull them in here so we can hear them. So I'm just erase that one. 3. These are all variations of the of Untitled crash loop. Oh, yeah, this one looks the same, and this one looks the same. It looks like there's only 2 different here. Oh, yeah, I probably made a lot of little mistakes like that and stuff. My bad. You know, it's the nature of these collabs, anyways. We'll just go with whatever works. Although, if you really want to go in and redo those for me and send them to me, that'd be awesome. But it's not necessary. I think with 2 variations is plenty. But they did sound cool. I remember they all sounded really good. So if you want to go back and do that, feel free. And when I say that to anyone, when I say if you want to do that, I really do mean if you feel like it. I'm not asking. I just want y'all to, if y'all are looking for something to do and some inspiration or something to do in the studio, sometimes the community collabs can be that very inspiration you need or project you're looking. I like to go to the studio with a project in mind. You know, it's a different feeling than just going to the studio to sit down with like a blank slate and go, okay, what am I gonna do? Which is also fun. But sometimes when you go to the studio and you're like, okay, so and so's waiting on this. I also need to finish this, and this is due by this date. Blah blah. And you have all these deadlines. That gives you a purpose in the studio, and it actually makes your studio time more valuable. So maybe sometimes when y'all jump over to the studio and you're working on samples for the community collabs, it can add, you know, that kind of. I'm gonna delete these other 3. So since there's only 2 variations here, I'm gonna just keep the first 2, and I'm going to delete these. Whoa. 1, 2, 3. So Blexa, I do want to listen to it, but please understand that I want to stick into the same order, so I definitely will listen to it. And the only reason why I say that is because I want to make sure you understand. Like, I did hear you when you sent it that you did send it, and I kind of put it as a priority that I'll get to it in a second. But if I just jump around to everything that someone asked me to do in the chat, it really does just cause me to jump around. And Diety just sent some samples also. We haven't listened to those either, so I wouldn't want to cut in line and listen to yours before I listen to Indiety's, because Indiety also sent some samples. So, and I'm not talking to just the Sublux. I'm just goes to anyone watching the stream. If you send samples to me, just know I'll get to them when I can. And sometimes we'll run out of time, and we'll get to them the next day. But I hope the more you show up to the streams, the more more inactive it'll be. But give me a little bit, Subluxa. We'll see if we have time for that. All right, we got these crashes in here. We got 2 variations of the crashes. I'm gonna copy the volume here. Okay, it's already done because I cloned the original track. I'm gonna load these effects in here. Do this really fast. We're gonna stick around a little longer today. I want to get all this stuff in here. Let's go effects. I hope that didn't mess up the effects rendering, because you have a lot of things here too. So let's go. I don't think these had gross beat on them, did they? And if they did, I might have messed up the gross beat all through your entire thing. But listen to these. All right, we got some effects. So Bluxa sent some laughs. I definitely want to hear the laughs. We need more little vocal snippets like that. You know, the perfect little vocal samples that you go right between like a drop and a break. We need more things like that. Fox the Galaxy has a really good one on the track that we were working on yesterday. I think it just laughs and then it says FOG, you know, for Fox the Galaxy. All right, let's go. So now we have, I believe these are all different, right? So we have hey, Andiety, so did the same thing happen with the effects here? Did the gross beat not get rendered out, causing these not to be different? Oh, that one sounds different. Let's definitely get that one. All right, well, let's just get a couple of variations in here, because it's probably more than one we need. But let's go. I'm going to clone this. I like this one. All right, let's see. There's some difference in here. Clone this one. Oh, maybe not. Maybe those are the same. Yeah, these are the same. We're going to delete. Keep those 2 variations. That's some effects. We do have other slots for more effects, though. Okay, then we'll jump over to those Indiety samples real quick, and then we'll jump over to the Sublux samples. Hey, so Indiety, you said you sent a new pack, so it's going to be in this folder up here. More metal. Oh, more metal. I get it. Okay, 135 BPM. Okay, let's just listen to this today. We'll use it in the future. It's not. I don't think we're going to use it for this project today. When we come back to this project, with the new schedule, we might use it then. But today's goal was just get these samples loaded anyways. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna mute all this. We're gonna listen to these samples quick, then we're gonna listen to the Sublux samples. The Sublux sample, if it fits in here, we might drop it in. But for the most part, we're gonna come back to this track. We're really gearing up for next week, starting Monday, when we're gonna start doing the new schedule. All right. Let's listen to these. So let's give these a good save this. Save. I will get all those projects loaded into folders like we had last season. Another big reason why we're switching things up, because we need to organize things in a more efficient manner. Okay, so let's listen to these real quick. I saved that so I can open up a new project. We have more metal. I just want more metal to come back to the world. Let's see, bucket laser. Metal's one of those things that never goes away. There will always be metal, but it rises and goes down. But the new metal is going to be this hybrid metal step metal thing. It's not going to be straight electronic. I think it's going to still be way more metal and bands, guitars, drums, bass, vocals, that kind of metal. But then you add the appropriate amount of electronic. The other way is electronic with guitar, or electronic with like double bass acoustic sounding drums that sound metalish, but then you put a lot of guitar, but then it's still all like dubsteppy. That's pretty cool too. But I think the other side of it is the more metal, full on metal bands, and they have like maybe a DJ. Remember like new metal 20 years ago, NU metal back in the day? It was like DJs in the band. That could become a thing again. I say become a thing again, like it's never went away, but it could get more popular again, as things usually do come back around. And that's a good way to mix that the new synth sounds, like dubstep, wobble, bass style, crazy rhythm sounds into metal bands, but actually still have a band. What am I talking about? Okay, let's play this. It's called Bucket Laser. This one's called Chick Chick. It's called Rapid Fire. This one is right. I like that one a lot. It's good that you save these markers in here, because you can drop this into new time and move those markers around pretty easy. Sublux says, but what about metal made with only electronics? Yeah, I like that. And I think the better way to do that, though, would be really make sure the drum beat sounds like a real metal drum beat. But you can still do it with the computer, you know. But I think one of the most important parts of metal is the drum beat and the guitar, of course. But you can do the guitar with the computer. Think of it this way. Electric guitar is electric. A guitar is just electric. It's like sample your guitar, you know, whatever. It's just two ways to look at it. You can sample your own guitar. So you play the guitar, you record the guitar, and then you sample it, and then you go drop it into the track if you want. You can still make a really pure metal sounding song all on the computer. But the main thing I was trying to differentiate from is metal step and all that stuff. Because that's not quite what I think it's going to evolve into. Because, you know, metal bands, they don't necessarily like electronic for the whole purpose of they're a band. They play instruments. So it's a different realm versus a music producer. We're more like engineers, programmers, and composers, compared to bands are more like performing musicians. You know, it's two different realms. But there's a lot of blurred lines there too, and crossover for sure. But it's two different realms. This one's titled Reloading. These all sound really good, Untitled. They're really clean, and they're not like harsh on the ears or anything. They're really good. You got some really good frequencies that poke through. That. All right, there's a bunch of samples there. We'll definitely be using. These are already at 135 beats per minute. They're all D minor. We can either try to sneak those into a track that's calling for those samples, or of course we can pitch these around and make them fit, even in the track we were messing with today. So once we get back around, starting next week, when we're going to be doing the one track at a time thing, I think it's better all around because we can really just dig in and look for what we need to finish the track and get straight to it. Instead of this whole me always saying, okay, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that in a later week and all that stuff. I think it'd be just better for everyone if we just kind of focus on one thing at a time. Okay, Subluxa goes. What are the new samples called that you sent me, Subluxa? I'm in the Subluxa pack. Looking in the main folder here. You sent a vocal thing? Let me refresh. Weird laugh. Okay. Me pulling the sample always spoils it, but let's listen to it again. All right, there we go. That is cool. What I like about that is it's the sound of a laugh basically at this point. It has the effect of a laugh, but it's not just necessarily a real laugh. And those are those perfect things you add right before a break or a drop or a switch up, you know. That one last little sample that sneaks in there. What? And then the beat drops or whatever. Stuff's really cool. Weird laugh. You got so many samples. You have a pretty good memory too, Subluxa, I'm guessing. So make sure you remind me to use all your great samples once the weeks keep going on and working on stuff. Subluxa says I made it from Gorilla samples. Fun fact about Gorillas, and Gorillas is the first group that got me into like samples and loops and stuff. Because I did grow up listening to bands, also playing in bands, playing guitar and all that stuff. But one of my favorite groups that was not that was Gorillas. They're more of a production style group, of course. And yeah, I'm still a big fan of this. Speaking of VR, they got a virtual reality music video. You can even watch it on YouTube and just use you can just use your mouse to look around, but I like their VR music video. Someone else was talking about sampling things from tracks too. Big and thing. And Didey says, I learned about a year ago that the guy that started Gorillaz also started Bandlab. Yeah. Yeah. He's ended with some other projects too. Look up all his bands. You'd be like, okay, crazy. You might not know all his bands, but he does have more than one band. And Blur, yeah, Blur, he has that one super popular song. I'm forgetting the name of it now, but it's yeah, I gotta think of it. But yeah, he has a super popular song I always think of. And then I remember finding that out too, and I was a little stoked on it. Although I didn't listen to Blur, like, know who they were when they were popular. I just knew that song. Song 2. Yeah, it's called Song 2. You're right. Yeah. That's funny. Super simple name, just because they were lazy with it and thought it would be funny. Subluxa says, like the good, the bad, and the queen. Another. Subluxa, I never ask or assume people's ages or whatever, but Subluxa, you listen to Radiohead, you listen to Tool, so I'm assuming that's like classics to you. You definitely didn't grow up on that stuff, and it's like now coming back around. Like that stuff's like the classics, and like just like when I was growing up, I would listen to like some really old bands that I wasn't aware of. My parents. It's nice to see that Tool and Radiohead are definitely those bands. Do people listen to Deftones? Because I love Deftones. But see, I used to listen to that stuff. I want to say those bands are a little before my time, almost. Like I still was like very young when those bands were popular, because I was more like I was born in 1985, and when I started really getting into music was like the turn of the century. and then like maybe 1995 and on, but like 1997, 1998, 1999. I was a big Marilyn Manson fan, believe it or not. It's the blocks I discovered a lot of it. Yeah, so I mean, I'd imagine so. Just like people get discovering at any age group, any generation's gonna discover like a few generations back the music that was the best of the best, maybe, and that wasn't super mainstream. And I would definitely say that both Tool and Radiohead were like cool bands. You know what I mean? They go down in legend, like the Pink Floyds and all those David Bowies, like the legends way back in the day, going back. Because again, I go way back, and I think of all the legends and the great music that really written themselves in as being like game changers. You know, Metallica and Iron Maiden and these bands, Pink Floyd and David, these big bands, and then the Beatles, of course. But then, like way later now, I'm Skrillex, Deadmau5, Virtual Riot. We got these. They they're looked at the top, and they'll go down in history as being some of the best in that genre. And I've always looking for the similar. So Blux also loves Pink Floyd and David. But yeah, I love these iconic bands. They end up being my favorite. Because when it comes to classic bands and stuff, it's the ones that not just their music. It's more like, I mean, it is their music, but it's also because they're also known for being such artists and such and cementing themselves in history like that, you know, with their style and stuff. And that's what inspires me with my art. So for sure, we definitely should do a radio podcast one time. I know there's legal ways to do all that stuff. You know, it's like legal if you're reacting to music. It's legal to do like listen to people's music and play it. You know, that whole reaction video style thing. It'd be cool to do some reaction stuff, man. I know way too music. I know way too much music. And Daddy says I know way too much music. I could just show up Spotify play. Oh, I'm and Daddy, we're in the same boat when it comes to that. Yeah, I actually had to at some point stop trying to like hoard all the music in the world. Streaming services became the best thing for me because can you imagine trying to buy every album and CD and play it and tape cassette and all these CDs if there wasn't streaming services? Yeah, nowadays it's normal to stream, of course, but that really was the best thing for me to not try to collect it so much. But I like to listen to new stuff. If I see an artist or a name of a song that I've never heard, I'm more likely to click on that than I am to click on something that I've like heard 100 times. Just for the thrill of the discovery, you know, the thrill of like, what could this track sound like? It could sound like anything. That's like that mystery. Like before you hit play, you have no idea what you're about to hear. It could be anything. It could be a guitar. It could be a piano. It could be a vocal scream. It could be the soft vocal. It could be a loud vocal. It could be something really avant-garde. It could be anything. So that mystery. So when I see a title and an artist that I've never heard before, and me doing that for years and years and years has caused me to like, I believe, come across pretty much most most of what people have heard. Maybe we got a Spotify playlist too. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. So Blux, thanks for sharing this. I'll listen to it. I'm all about people sharing music with me so I can discover more music. Create a playlist. How do I just save it? You're not logged in. Yeah. All right, I'll say that. Okay, so I'm gonna start wrapping this stream up. It's oh, so this is old school stuff. I've probably heard most of this stuff. Oh yeah, I'm always gonna bring back tons of memories here. Yeah, I'm all about this stuff. To believe it or not, I actually don't go back too many times and listen to old music for that whole reason of me always listening to new music. But the thing is about the best songs, you know, the ones that bring back memories, those are the best musics of my playlist. You know, those are the ones I build playlists around. Deadmau5, Skrillex, those are the two that really got me. Hey, there's Justice. Hey, good stuff, everybody. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna check it out later. I'll probably listen to it here in a little while just for the sake that I've you just now brought back a bunch of flashbacks by reading those names. I'm gonna close the stream down because we went past 2 hours. I'm excited to get going tomorrow. I'm excited for next week when we start our new schedule, working on one collab at a time. I'm really excited to try that out. Again, everything's just a test, just a trial to see what works best. But once we figure out the best workflows, we'll stick with it, at least for a while. Do tune back in tomorrow, though. We're going to continue what we've been doing this week, which is just still kind of like house cleaning up this big mess that we created with the 40 producers that joined this collab. and all the mini sample packs and collabs that we just projects that we started all in the last 7 weeks now. And I'm excited to really turn into something special. So 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. You can always message me on Discord to continue the conversation at any time, and especially if you have a question about anything I talked about today, feel free to message me on Discord. That's Guild 1000 on Discord. Yeah, for sure. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in the stream and hanging out with me in the chat. Really makes this a lot more fun for me when people are here talking. All right, and Subluxa, thanks again for that playlist. I'm gonna tune into it. Hit shuffle for sure. It's one of those my most favorite things to do is just turn on a big long playlist, hit shuffle, and just let it play for like days on end. You come back, you hit pause, come back the next day, you hit play, and you just let it go, keep going until you make it through it. Playlisting. We're gonna get one last announcement on the subject of playlisting, so this actually makes sense, and this is more relevant. We are always playlisting on SoundCloud. It's the Music Production Arena playlist. We've almost made it through a full year of the Music Production Arena playlist on SoundCloud. It's November now, so we just got one more month. I'm gonna wrap it up by the 12 playlists for the year. This 2021 playlist, 2021 Music Production Arena playlist, and then next year we're gonna start doing it on Spotify. So I want playlisting to be a big thing that we do. I want people to look to us as a curators of great music production playlists. But the main focus of our community support playlist, the first playlist that we're creating, is for community support. It's to show off the members in the community that have music posted on SoundCloud and have posted on Spotify. So I'm really excited. We are going to be updating the pictures. These pictures are kind of just really bad. I noticed that the lettering's not even all the same size. So it's no better than what I had before, I guess. But I went ahead and like swapped out the artwork because I'm planning on upgrading our entire brand look of our brand. I mean, not this looks good up here. This all looks good, but I'm talking about our artwork, all our playlist pictures, and the pictures for our competitions, our challenges. I want to bring that to another level. But anyways, 2021. So going into 2022, we're going to be doing community support playlists again. And we're going to be doing those on Spotify as well. So make sure you're following us on SoundCloud and on Spotify. We have links to your music there. Sure, at this point, everyone knows how to get music on Spotify. It's not that hard. It is different than SoundCloud, of course. But once you get your music on Spotify, make sure we have your links. Mainly Spotify and SoundCloud is where we're going to be playlisting. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Let me get out of here before I ramble on a little bit too longer. I'm doing actually another stream on Bandlab later because I'm all excited about the new setup I just set up, my new camera position and all that stuff. So if you want some more guilds shenanigans, tune in a little bit later to Bandlab. I'll be there. All right. Until then, see you next time.